Hello, this is Cathy Cassidy here for another edition of Sunday Book Club, and today I thought I would do some more book recommendations for you, and some of them are going to be taken from my to read list for the summer. I thought I would share that with you, and one of them, the one I'm going to start with, this one, is actually a book that really helped me to get through lockdown. It's called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie Maxey, and I'm thinking that quite a few of you might have come across this already. It was a really popular buy around about the Christmas time, and it was actually given to me as a Christmas present by a lovely young friend called Jenny. Thank you, Jen. I've loved this, and it's the perfect book for any of us who enjoy having images and pictures along with our words. And I'm just going to open it randomly in different places just to show you what I mean. Let's have a look. Just really beautiful, very free illustrations. I like this one. Cake, said the mole. What could be better? But beautiful illustrations and fantastic, very powerful emotional words as well. And this is a book that I loved to be given. It was great to be given it as a Christmas present. But throughout the lockdown, I found myself picking this book up and looking at it over and over. And every time you flick through, you find a different thing that seems relevant, that seems heartening, heartwarming, and just generally encouraging, which I think is fantastic and something that all of us really needed in lockdown. So a definite book recommendation. If you've not come across this book, please check it out. It's just full of beautiful stuff, artwork, words, magic. So the next book that I want to tell you about is also picture book. This time the Charlie Maxey book is aimed at adults, I think, but this book, Perdue, written and illustrated by Richard Jones, a British illustrator, this is obviously aimed at children, and that's not going to stop me from enjoying it. I'm a big fan of Richard Jones' work, and when I saw that he was working on a new book, I knew that I had to check it out. So I'm just going to show you. Perdue is it's the story of a lost dog, and I am so much a fan of Richard's artwork. I absolutely love the way he illustrates. It's got a very 1950s kind of feel to it. Let's have a look. So there are some sad bits and happy bits too. There's one of Perdue late at night under the moon, looking very sad because Perdue is lost, but a happy ending, of course. So yeah, Perdue, I love this book, and I definitely will be buying it and giving it to various members of my friends and families, assorted children that I know. But this particular issue, this particular copy is mine, and that's great. I don't think there is a problem at all with adults loving picture books. And it reminded me of a time when I was, I think, about 12 in one of our local libraries, and I remember being sat quietly by the picture book section. There was like a little square box full of picture books, and I was looking through them and must have found one that I really loved. And one of the librarians came up and said, "What's a great big girl like you doing looking at the baby books?" And I don't think librarians would ever say a thing like that now, because they just don't, they understand a lot more about the different ways that we work. But I loved images, I loved pictures along with my words, and I still do now. And I ended up in the in-between bits. I went off to art college, and I actually trained to be an illustrator. So you can tell a story with pictures, and you can paint a picture with words. So yeah, there's Perdue, and Richard Jones is my picture book pick. And for young teenagers and pre-teens, this particular book, Kicking Off, I think is one I think you would love. And as you can probably tell by the cover, Kicking Off has a bit of a football theme going on. But it's not just a football book, it's also an historical book that is based on real life events. And I was sent a proof copy of this fabulous book, so I've actually read it already, even though it's not quite published yet, but you can pre-order it, so you can definitely get your hands on this book very, very soon. But I was then invited, because I really loved it, would I like to write a foreword for the book? So I'll read you the foreword that I wrote, and you'll learn a little bit more about the story perhaps. When I was at primary school, I liked to play football. I was what my parents called a tomboy. I liked to climb trees and make stuff and read adventure books, but at school I wasn't allowed to play football because it was a boys' game. In PE, us girls had to play netball instead, which somehow didn't seem half so much fun. Sometimes, though, the boys would let me play football with them, but I was usually in goal because no one else wanted to be a goalie. "You're quite good for a girl," they told me. Things may have changed a little now, but too slowly. These days, I'm an author. As an author, I still get emails and letters from girls asking if I will ever write about football because they love it. I don't think I'll ever write a book about football, but I've fallen in love with this one. It tells the story of courage in the face of adversity, of overcoming the odds and smashing the barriers that barred women from football, and it is full of heart and warmth and hope. And it isn't fiction. Way back at the end of World War I, women and girls were pushing the boundaries and proving that they could be every bit as good as men on the football field. Awesome, right? This really happened, and author Eve Ainsworth has woven the story of a football team made up of factory girls into a gripping, heartwarming story. Reading Kicking Off, I was transported back in time to an age when a 15-year-old girl could be called up to work in a munitions factory, standing all day at a production line handling dangerous explosives. A time when Britain was at war and every family had someone fighting at the front or had lost somebody in battle. This is a story of friendship, family and football, and I think you're going to love it. So that's my foreword for Kicking Off, and Eve Ainsworth is fantastic author for young adults, and this I think would appeal to most kids from most ages, probably from age 10 upwards to perhaps 14, 15, 16. So definitely one to watch out for. One on my to read list is this fabulous book, Diary of a Young Naturalist by Dara McAnulty. And Dara is actually a teenager himself and has written this fantastic non-fiction book all about the natural world that surrounds him, and I cannot wait to read this. And one of the reasons I am so interested is that Dara comes from a part of Northern Ireland which my grandma was born in Inniskillen, so, or not in Inniskillen, but in a village near to Inniskillen. So it's talking about a landscape that she would perhaps have known, and I am so curious to read it. And it, of course, is fantastic. The map at the front of the book. Shouldn't all books have an amazing map? It just makes it so much more exciting. So I just cannot wait to read Dara's book. I think it's going to be awesome. And a book that I have just started reading is this hefty tome by Dorothy Comson. And Dorothy is one of my very, very favourite authors. This one is called All My Lies Are True, and when Dorothy brings a new book out, I have to buy it, have to get it, because usually that means I can't wait for it to go into paperback. So yeah, heavy, big, solid book. I'm one of those people who prefers paperbacks, but I will make an exception for Dorothy Comson. If you've not come across her work before, you probably would really love it if you like anything to do with crime or detective kind of stories, mysteries, things with a real heart and with family and friendship and a little bit of romance woven into them too. So there's a little bit of everything and a little bit of the kind of stuff that makes us really care about a character. Dorothy happens to be an amazing author, amazing human, and this is kind of a sequel. Quite a there's been a big jump, but I think it's includes the same characters from the first Dorothy Comson book that I ever read, which was called The Ice Cream Girls, and that was a little bit of a mystery and quite had quite a dark storyline to it, which totally hooked me into her writing, and she has kept me hooked ever since. So Dorothy Comson, yeah, definitely a recommend. And very last recommendation, and this is me being shamelessly self-promotional, Forever Phoenix. If you haven't yet got your hands on a copy of my newest book, please check it out. I'm going to put a little I'll put a little link in the blurb to this YouTube vlog underneath, so that you could, if you wanted to, you could order a signed copy of the book, because obviously I'm not going to be doing any signings anywhere this year. So, but you can order it by post that way from a lovely independent bookshop who will sell you it at a good discount price and post it direct to your door. And that also goes for anybody who's viewing in Ireland or even in France. So yeah, lockdown has not been an easy time. It's not an easy time to launch a book or to sell a book, because a lot of people are still not really going into bookshops, or a lot of bookshops are only kind of halfway open. But yeah, think about it. If you don't want this book for yourself, perhaps there is somebody who you know who might enjoy it as a birthday present, as an early Christmas present, or an unbirthday present, who knows. So yeah, if you want to do something awesome to me, that would be really, really cool, and spread the word. So I think yeah, I'm planning to take a few weeks break now from Sunday Book Club. I think that things have gone a little bit quiet. I'm not being asked as many questions as usual, not having so much feedback from all of you guys, and it's probably because you're all busy now that we're easing out of lockdown, doing stuff in the big wide real world, and I'm also getting quite busy. There are various work projects that I need to really focus on and get stuck into, so I'm going to take a few weeks to try and crack on with those things. And all being well, and if you want me to, and if you're interested, then I can be back in September or in the autumn, whenever you think, and we can carry on with Sunday Book Club. But I'm going to do a little break from just for now, and we'll see how it goes. I have really, really loved chatting to you through the lockdown and the easing of lockdown, and talking about books. And it would be lovely if you're interested still. Stay in touch. You can add me on Facebook. You can follow on Instagram, whatever way of keeping in touch works for you. And of course, you can leave messages on the YouTube channel too. But hopefully, if you are interested in carrying on with this, then I can be back in the autumn, and I will see you then. Until then, take care, enjoy your August, and enjoy what's left of your summer, and I will see you soon. Thank you.